Howdy, folks. Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. Today was the big day. New World launched today. The new MMO by Amazon. I had already done a review of the beta and the whole bit and all that. But today was the actual launch day. And I gotta say, so this video is just going to be my initial reactions to the launch. And I played it for 10 hours today. It's going to be like a first impressions thing. I would have done some in-game footage stuff. However, I didn't dare get out of the game to set up Bandicam and everything to do recording in-game because I'd have to relaunch. I'd have to get back. And that segues me into the main topic, which is Amazon is one of the largest server owners in the world. A lot of people may not know this. Amazon makes most of its money from web hosting. Amazon Web Services, AWS is the name of the company, owned of course by Amazon as the parent company and everything. But they own something like 1.5 million server farms or some shit across 86 countries or something like that. It's just ridiculous. There is no excuse for them, of all people, to have server issues at a launch of a video game. That makes absolutely no sense. They can send a spaceship into space with civilians on it, and it's being run autonomously. There aren't even any astronauts on the fucking thing. But they don't have enough server space for a few 100,000 or whatever it is people wanting to play a video game? You gotta be shitting me. That is the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard of. Here's the bottom line. So I jump in as soon as the West Coast servers go live. I jump in, make my character. I did it very quickly. I didn't sit there and dilly-dally and look through a bunch of different, hairstyles and everything. Nope, I knew exactly what I wanted. Bing, bang, boom. And I was 6,000 in line. 6,000 on the Camelot server. So I jumped out of that. Went to a different server that said was like low. It had nothing, almost 0 people on it or whatever. Made another character. Did the same exact thing with character creation, everything else. Boom, hit it. I was like 19 in line, right? Now, that's only because I think that server had just popped and I just timed it just right. And so I get in. But of course, within an hour, the chat is just full of people who are saying that all the other servers are like, literally, it's saying it's gonna be 8 hours before you can get in or whatever. I mean, just ridiculous server queues for Amazon, who owns the majority of the servers in the world. Them and Google are the two of the biggest, and there's a couple other Chinese companies, I think, that own like all the servers in the world, like the server farms that do all the web hosting and everything. There's no excuse for that. There is literally, there should have just been a guy or a gal sitting there ready to go, and they go, we need some more server capacity. Right, boss? Click, flip a fucking switch. It's Amazon. They make all their money as servers selling web services and storage and capacity, web or server capacity to other big companies. Doesn't make any sense. Any other problems like glitches with the software, chat problems, you name it, whatever, item problems, whatever, you name whatever bugs you could think of, understandable. It's a launch day, bugs get through, whatever, even though they shouldn't, but they do. It's a reality. But the server thing for Amazon doesn't make any sense. Any other company that has a video game that's going to be online and requires servers probably they probably pay Amazon for the servers, for the capacity to do that. More than likely, unless they're Google or, maybe Microsoft, they've got to pay somebody for the servers, for the capacity to host it and all that. So anyway, that's my rant on that. Now, aside from that, because I was one of the lucky ones that got in, I timed it just right on the right server or whatever, and I got in, and so I was able to play. One particular bug that I was hit with, that I was not hit with during the beta, is that you have titles, just like a lot of games do, and one of the titles that you're supposed to get if you pre-ordered was Expedition 1. So one of the things everybody did when they got to town, you do the first prologue thing, and then everybody makes it to a town. And most people at that point, they go in and they set their title, and if they want to change the skins on their armor and shit like that, they can do that, right? Because there were some skins that if you pre-ordered or something like that. So, but you generally wait. Most people wait till they get to a town to do all that kind of maintenance shit. So I get there, go to the title, and it says, what the hell did it say? Uninitiated. So no titles available. And then I go to achievements, and all the achievements just say uninitiated. Weird. That didn't happen during beta. So I go on to the forums, which luckily was seamless. I was able to Alt-Tab go without fucking up the whole, game or whatever, because sometimes that'll happen in games. Was able to do that, go to the forums. It turns out this is a bug from beta. Now, luckily it didn't hit me in beta, but apparently it existed then. A lot of people had the same uninitiated thing on all their achievements, everything else, and it was a big pain in the ass. Because that's one of the main things people want when they play one of these games. They want to be able to see the achievements to work. They want to be able to see what they've accomplished and so forth. Excuse me. Gotta hydrate. This is not a beer 30, but in case you're wondering, I'm having one of the best beers in the world. I'm having the Schneider Weiss Aventus. Weissen Doppelbock. If you go to ratebeer.com or Beer Advocate, either of those two big websites that all they do is rate beer, this is one of the top rated beers on both of them, period, in the world. That bottle right there at my liquor store is $6 for one bottle. So I thought that today was National Drink a Beer Day or something like that. So I'm like, well, I gotta have one of my good ones. So anyway, so that problem happened, and it continued the entire time. And I did not dare log off, like I said, even to maybe do some in-game footage or whatever. Didn't bother to do that. Finally got tired and said, you know what, I'm done. I gotta log off for a while. For shits and giggles, decided, let me see if I can jump back in. I was 1,500 in queue. Whatever, 15. It didn't have a time or anything, just 1,500. And then the other server that I made my first character on, that one was still over 6,000 on queue. There were some other servers that they had added that had lower, but of course, after you've already spent 10 fucking hours working on a character, I'll be goddamned if you want to start from scratch just because there's a server that has low population. God damn it. What the hell was that 10 hours for? Practice? The fuck? Anyway, it just bugs me because it's, of all people, it's of all companies, it's Amazon, that should not have been one of their problems with server capacity. That should not have been their problem. Any other problem, understood. Even this achievement thing, even though that it was from beta and didn't get fixed, that's another thing that should piss most people off, because that's why you have a beta. is to identify that stuff and fix it before you launch. And apparently they didn't. So on the forums, there was a lot of us, people were posting on there and everything. And they're saying, oh, you got to check the integrity of your files on Steam. Some people did that and it worked. Other people did it and it did not work. I have yet to be able to get back in to see if it's been fixed yet. But anyway, so those are the big things. Server queues and the bugs that made it through. Now, there was a sound bug in beta that was horrible. That seems to have been fixed. Bravo. Well done. That one, because that one was like, you'd be in the middle of combat and the sound would just like wig out. And the first time it happens to you, you're thinking, you go like this because you're thinking, did my ear plug up on me? Did I get wax in my ear? What the hell, But no, it was just that bug thing, that sound bug. And that appears to have been fixed because it didn't happen to me once in 10 hours. So knock on wood. Everything else seemed to be very smooth. I didn't have any frame rate issues. I didn't have any buffering. I didn't have nothing. Everything else seemed to be good. So, provided they can fix the server thing, which should have been, like I said, somebody going, okay, boss, flip a switch. Anyway, other than that, it seemed to be the exact same game that I played in beta, minus the sound bug. And I didn't really see anything additional, like new, that I didn't, like any new features or any different feature, anything they changed, nothing. So it's a fun experience. The bonus is that it does not cost a monthly fee. There's no monthly fee for this. So you pay once, and that's it. And I can report that the in-game purchase store type thing, for skins, and because they're going to have to make their money, have some revenue stream and whatnot, that is very obscure. Like, you can go and find it and click store, and then you can buy skins, and you can, and all that, and you can do, like, there's of course stuff like name changes and all that shit, I think, but it doesn't, you wouldn't know it if you didn't go looking for it. So it's not like they're hitting you over the head with it, trying to say, oh, you got to buy these, in-game purchases, you got to spend, Bezos bucks or whatever, so that wasn't there. So anyway, it was a fun experience. I was one of the lucky ones that got in. Luckily, I server hopped right away as soon as I saw that big ass queue and found a server that was like 0 so from the time that I hit 0 and it did my quick character creation and everything, like I was still 19 in queue. Like the first, not like the first one where I did the same exact thing and I was like 6,000 and it was only been like 5 minutes. How the hell does that happen? But anyway, so that is my report on A New World, the first day launch experience. So cheers. We will be back tomorrow with some gaming news stuff. Blizzard was in the news again today, not for good reasons, obviously. And we'll see if we can't do a in-game, once everybody's at work and school tomorrow, us retired folks, we can do an in-game. Hopefully the queues won't be bad tomorrow, I hope, and I can do some in-game footage for you guys. So until then, we'll catch you on the flip side.